What's going on, everybody? Nick the Tutor back again, and today I'm going to talk about AP classes. Now, I know a lot of you found me because of AP classes, and you're probably thinking, should I even take AP classes next year? What will they look like? Which ones will be easy? Which ones will be hard? In this video, I'm going to discuss the easy AP classes, the top 5 easiest ones. I'm also going to talk about some of the harder AP classes, the top 5 hardest AP classes. I'm going to go through what they mean, how you should approach them this year, and what you can do to succeed. Now, I have to be super honest with you. This year is going to be weird. So I think my answer to a lot of these questions is really interesting, and you want to make sure you watch the end of this video to check out my opinion on what the easiest and hardest classes are. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so I'm going to give you guys a few different data sets to understand what the easiest and hardest AP classes are. So I want to go through some of the hardest ones first. Now, there's different metrics for what a hard AP class would be. You have just general AP statistics. So what is the percentage of students who get a 5 on the exam? Should I evaluate that as the hardest? I maybe wouldn't look at it that way. I would probably look at what other students have said about the difficulty of the class. How time consuming is it? How long do I need to study? How difficult is the exam? And this is a year-long class, so it's not just an exam, right? You have to think about the class as a whole. So I want to talk about some of the more difficult classes, and this is on student voting, right? So students were polled and they were asked what they think the most difficult classes are. Number 5, Physics 1. I've seen that thrown out there a lot as one of the more difficult classes. I think that's just because physics is hard, right? It's just not a simple subject. There's math involved. It's super complicated. And if you don't get it, it can be very difficult. So Physics 1 comes in at number 5. Number 4 would be chemistry. Now remember, this is student voting. So students voted chemistry as number 4. I think that's kind of a well-known, difficult class. These are classes that can show a lot to a college. So if you can take some of these 5 classes I'm talking about, your college application is going to be better for it. Number 3, Physics C Mechanics. So once again, physics taking up now 2 spots in the top 5 for obvious reasons. Number 2, English Lit. A lot of people have been worried about that class last year with the study guides and my whole preparation for the AP exams for all you guys. People did take those classes with us and they did find them to be very beneficial. I think AP Lit, it just takes a lot of reading, it takes a lot of knowledge. You have to craft intelligent essays, and a lot of people feel like that is just a hard class. So English Lit coming at number 2. Number 1, the most difficult AP class as voted by students, Physics C, Electricity and Magnetism. So physics basically taking up 3 of the top 5 spots, and actually coming in number 6 would also be Physics 2. So physics is really dominating the most difficult classes. Now, you also have English Lit in there, and then you also have some Euro, World History, US History coming in the top 10. So I think for students that want to show something great about their math and science skill, really should consider taking physics classes. Students that want to show something great about their English skill and their history skill, their ELA skill, should really consider taking US History, World History, and English Lit especially. Those are the classes you want to take to stand out. Now, that takes care of the most difficult classes. Now, what do these really, do for you on a college application? Well, if you're applying to engineering school, all the top students are going to have those physics grades on their application, and you're going to want to have that as well. So I think that is an important factor and something that I feel is overlooked. So now that we went through the hardest classes, let's get into a little bit about some of the easier ones. So now I want to remind you guys, this is student voting. There's no statistics involved here other than student votes. And that's important to remember because there may be statistically classes that are harder or easier, but I don't want to get into that. I want to get into what's considered easiest by the students actually taking the exam. So the 5th easiest class is US Government and Politics. That was considered very easy. Then the 4th would be Environmental. If you're looking for an easier science class, that can definitely be a good one for you. Number 3 would be Human Geography. Another class I've seen thrown out there as easy from students. Statistically speaking, that's actually one of the hardest classes, which is kind of weird to say, like from the AP scores. That's actually considered one of the more difficult classes, but students' perception of it is that it's easier. It might be a lighter class. I think a lot of students don't try on the actual exam. That's why the scores are kind of low. So I would say that one is probably on the easier side. Then you have psychology, typically seen as an easier subject, a lot of memorization, just following along with the material. Can be a good class to kind of boost your AP scores overall and gain college credit. And then number 1, computer science. that one seems to be kind of a joke for most students. As long as you just follow along on the information and learn what you need to learn, then I think you're good. Now, the problem is taking these very easy AP classes doesn't show that much, but what it does do is gain you a large amount of valuable college credit. So you can gain valuable college credit taking these classes. Some other ones in the top 10, statistics, seminar, and macro and micro. So you can see a lot of easy classes there, 10 AP classes you could probably wipe out and just get a lot of credit. So I would recommend doing that. Now, if you are applying to some of the higher end schools and the top schools, you probably want to look towards the list of hardest AP classes that I mentioned, because those are really the ones that are going to help you boost your college application, which is why we're here, right? We're watching Nick the Tutor because we want to get into a better college. That's what Nick the Tutor helps you do. So let's move on. Now, if you want to talk about pure statistics, language classes actually have the highest percentage of 5s for the AP exams. I think Chinese is something like 60% passing. Now, that doesn't mean that class is easy. Like, for example, if I tried to do that, I would probably do terribly. So I think it's a matter of the students taking those exams are very competent in the language. So that's why there's a high percentage of 5s. So that's why I don't like to necessarily look at percentage of 5s as a metric for easiest exam, because then you would say Chinese is the easiest exam, but that may only be easy because the students that speak Chinese are good at it, or they're native speakers or something to that effect. So when you're looking at these statistics, they can be very misleading. That's why I wanted to go with more so the student voting. Now, what I want you guys to do is vote down below. So comment down below what you think the easy AP classes are, what do you think the hard AP classes are. Let's have a discussion. Let's talk about it. So you guys can comment, I'll reply back, and we can have a discourse about what the easy classes are and what the hard classes are.